Of course, with load shedding, there is also the security aspect of it to consider. Where does this leave power? Where does it rest power? Andy Mashaile is an Interpol ambassador, former chairperson of the Gauteng Provincial Community Police Board, and joins us now to talk about this. So we know that load shedding disempowers people in many ways, most especially if on a personal, front, you can't even protect yourself because the tools to do that, the power is down, and also mass communication is affected as well.
Good afternoon to you, and thanks for inviting me. You are correct. Your introduction is correct. Whenever there is load shedding, it becomes an opportunistic moment for criminals to break into homes. It also becomes an opportunistic moment for car window smashers who are then able to steal from the cars as a result of those cars that stop for quite a long time at the robots and many of those things. It is a moment at a point in time where crime generally would increase. You and I know, and the listener know that, or the viewer know that very well. Under darkness, many forms of crimes do happen.
What are people supposed to do, though? It's always such an interesting thing to contend with, that as soon as the power goes down, there is loss of network. How does this work? I mean, as somebody who is in the police service, as an Interpol ambassador, you would know the international best practice. What is wrong? Why does it have this effect on our communications?
Let me not talk technology. Let me talk mobilizing communities for safety and security within our communities. One, the people of Ridgeway organize themselves into street committees that do patrolling. Whenever there was load shedding some few years back, the gentlemen or the men in that street would come out with their torches and would ensure that they patrol the streets. The same logic can be exported to the rest of the country, where when there's load shedding in your street, the people within that street would then have to come together for the safety and security of their own children, their own families, band together to ensure that any form of suspicious activity or individuals who might come from one area coming into the area where there is load shedding are then repelled, and also join the police in patrolling. Join your community policing fora throughout the country and throughout those areas that become serious hotspots whenever there is load shedding. I am not too certain, my blessed sister, why is it that communications networks would then be affected? But what I can ascertain, yes.
So just
what
tell
I can
me,
ascertain is,
from past experience, has there been a correlation? Obviously, as part of the community policing forum community, you would have also your own experiences. Is there correlation between load shedding and rising crime numbers when you look at the patterns?
Not necessarily, but what I can tell you is you and I, the viewer and yourself, coming from a community or from communities, township communities, we know that when people go to work early in the evening, some of them do get accosted for money for their bags or become victims of criminals. In any area where there's been load shedding, I haven't myself and my team, I have not conducted a research or came across a research that suggests that there is a relationship between skyrocketing crime and load shedding.
I suppose we don't even need a science to tell us that the fear is amped up, that it increases when people are, of course, plunged in the dark. They are rendered vulnerable. Thank you so much, Andy Mashaile, an Interpol ambassador, former chairperson of the Gauteng Provincial Community Police Board.